Right now, surveillance nation. After news of the NSA's wide-ranging snooping program has come to light, we are asking if this is Big Brother gone wild or just necessary sacrifices for the sake of security. And next, is it time for Shelley Silver to go? After the Vito Lopez scandal, the cover-up, and now allegations of Silver's own improprieties, calls are getting louder for Telfon Sheldon to go. And later, Representative John Dingell is now the longest-serving member of Congress of all time. But while we celebrate, certainly, the stamina of this man here, many are asking if this is something that should be celebrated. Should anybody serve for 57 years? Is it good or bad for democracy? Good evening and welcome to RFL, everyone. I am Richard French, and thanks so much for joining us this Friday evening, June 7th. We're going to start here tonight with new reports on the government surveillance programs. Overnight, we learned that the NSA has been collecting information on foreigners overseas by monitoring their internet activity. And that's not all. Another agency program collects phone records on every single American. I want you to digest that for a second. They know who you call, for how long, and from where the phone call is coming from. This is all part of the post-9/11 security world that we now live in America. And it is certainly raising some huge privacy concerns. This evening, we're going to try and navigate where that line from protection to privacy is, and frankly, a debate here long overdue in this country that we will have on this set this evening. I want to bring Andrew Whitman right now to tell us, before we even get into the debates and the lines and the pros and the cons, how long this stuff's been going on for, and also how this whole thing works.
Well, we've known since the aftermath of 9/11, the Patriot Act, that there's been some element of government surveillance of electronic media. We just never thought it was this widespread, to the point where it's now impacting every single American, Rich. And it turns out the Obama administration has quietly accessed the phone records of millions of Americans, saying it was necessary to guard against terror attacks. Here's how it works.
Let's say you call your friend. The call goes through a Verizon switching center. There, the phone numbers of both you and your friend are recorded, as well as the length of your conversation. Your location information may also be recorded. Verizon has been operating under a secret court order that requires them to turn over information on all domestic and international calls for 3 months. The phone numbers, length of calls, and identifying information are recorded, but not the content of those conversations. The NSA then analyzes the calls, seeking out patterns or abnormalities. So let's get back to that phone call between you and your friend. Let's say your friend appears suspicious to the NSA. The NSA will then take a look at your friend's contacts and will then use those records from Verizon to look at your friend's friend's contacts, searching for patterns and taking note of the origin of those phone calls.
And it's more than just Verizon. There are reportedly similar secret orders for the records of all U.S. phone companies, Rich. So it's not as though they're listening in on every single conversation and every word that everybody's saying. But they know all the details about when those conversations are taking place, enough to raise red flags if they want to investigate people further.
Okay, well, let's be clear, everybody, okay? They don't need a warrant. They don't need probable cause. No court is saying yay or nay on this. Complete discretion, unchecked power. This is like some bad sci-fi movie here, but that's what it is. On top of that, if we thought it started and ended with phones, we got to think again here. Now, it turns out the National Security Agency's snooping goes way beyond just collecting those phone records. Washington Post has uncovered, in addition to The Guardian's reporting, that there's a massive spying program capable of uncovering virtually anything an individual does on the internet. And again, I want to take a breath here and I want you to process that. Anything you do online, I don't care if it's an email you send, Facebook posting you make here, you send a tweet, whatever it is. According to top secret documents leaked to the Post, the NSA can tap directly into the servers of the 9 biggest internet companies. They can get, like I said, not just the emails, but how about photos, web surfing, audio, even your video chats. The classified program, codenamed Prism, it began under President Bush, and it's been going on now for the past 6 years, including, obviously, under this current president. Now, several senior tech executives say that they had no idea of any existence of this thing called Prism, or for that matter, any other scheme even similar to it. An Apple spokesman said that they, quote, never even heard of the program. Now, Prism, it was described by the Post as the most, quote, prolific contributor to the president's daily brief. Now, the program, it accounts for almost 1 in 7 NSA intelligence reports, so it's not some little fly-by, night outfit with maybe one thing every month. This thing is enormous. So today, the president did what the first time of any president did. They acknowledged the existence of the program, and then he defended it, saying it doesn't apply to U.S. citizens and people living in the U.S. And he also said that Congress, hey, they knew what was going on all along.
Your duly elected representatives have been consistently informed on exactly what we're doing.
All right, well, to listen to some lawmakers, not so much. Some say, and it doesn't all fall on Republican or Democratic lines here. There's a cross-section, some of the most interesting people who agree with each other and disagree with each other here. Some say this is a necessary reality in post-9/11 America. In fact, it saved lives and stopped a terror threat right on domestic soil. Others say, what happened to the America I knew? What happened to the whole idea of constitutional protections? This thing's trampling on it and then backing over the car over it one more time to make sure it's dead. This is nuts. So the question we get into tonight is this necessary? And should anybody, any government, any president, any administration have this level of unchecked power? And are you okay with all this? Is this a trade-off we have to make since the towers came down on September 11th? Or is this something that we finally should have a debate about in this country as to where the limits of this should or shouldn't be? And also, how does technology and the reality of 2013, where we are, and the seemingly willingness, if not eagerness, of some to share every single element of their lives, play into this whole conversation? All right, when we come back, we're going to sound off on whether or not this level of surveillance is in fact good for the United States of America. And our panel, they'll join us to break it all down after the break. Now, in the meantime, we ask you at home to sound off and join our conversation, so you can head to Facebook and Twitter and chime in. NSA snooping, does it protect America or is it an assault on the Constitution? Two very different answers to a very complex question. We'll be right back with much more. Stay with us.